Hi everyone, this is Vive, Vision, and welcome back to another video on the channel. This is an update video. I wasn't sure, I have two videos coming up this weekend and I wasn't sure which order to put them in, but I don't really think it matters, so I'm doing the update first. The next one I put out will be not my top 10 as such, but 10 of my favourite album covers for the thread that Cloudy Milder launched from Cloudy Towers a couple of weeks back or whenever it was. So yes, so here's the update. This is just vinyl records. I think in my last update for the CDs I said the vinyl would follow, and here it is. So I hope you are all having a nice weekend, and we'll jump right in. I have a few here. So the first up is the French band ADX that I had fairly recently discovered, if you like, or checked out, even though they've been around since the early 80s. I picked up another random couple from their catalogue. This is a reissue of, Division Blindy. You know, it's obviously meant to be in French, but I'm useless at my French pronunciation, I have to say. So yeah, ADX, Division Blindy, or whatever. Again, it's a reissue from 2016 on Ultim Records. That's the thing there, Ultim Records. And again, it's a French issue. Everything is in French. It's a very slim, it's almost like a 12-inch single kind of card sleeve for this one. It's sturdy though, it's quite sturdy. But no frills, there was no inner with it, just a plain inner sleeve, and it's on red vinyl with custom labels. So it's kind of, it's almost like a hint of a magenta. It's a bright magenta. It's a very bright pinky red almost, this. So this album is from, I think it's about 2008. This one originally came out, and as I say, it was reissued in 2016 here. Just a couple of random picks. I was sampling more of their tunes on YouTube, and I quite like the sound of this. Having listened to the whole record is quite it's quite an intense listen, this one actually. It's quite frantic in places, almost chaotic sounding in places. I'm thinking, do I really like this one, or is this just a bit much for me? You know, because musically there was, as I say, it sounded a bit chaotic at times, and ferocious drums and ferocious guitars going 60 to the dozen, and I did think in a couple of places the guitar was just on a bordering on the over the top here with this one. But it's still a good album. Certainly not my favourite out of what I've got. I've got 4 of these guys' albums already now altogether. Out of the 4, this is probably my least favourite. But yeah, I'm still quite pleased to have this in the collection, and obviously I think a few more listens to get used to this one. But yeah, again they sing in French, but yeah, it's really definitely worth checking out if you like your fast and furious speed metal. And so the other one I picked randomly from their collection, again ADX. This one is Bestial, is the name of this album. Look at the artwork. Really nice artwork actually, a very interesting image here, lots going on in the background. And on the back it's kind of the same image, except you've got this bit, the menacing devilish figures going, and the horse riders have disappeared as well from here. Again, Bestial is their second most recent release, 2020. So this is not a reissue, this is an original from 2020, and it's on Ultim Records as well. Again, there we have it down here. Now this is a double LP. It's in a gatefold sleeve. Again, it's all in French. You've got the lyrics, etc. here, and the members of the band. Apologies for the glare again, it's off this desk lamp I've got. So yeah, this one I do enjoy much better. This is a really good listen. It's kind of modern sounding, obviously, away from their 80s classic sound, but they're still really good. They're still churning out some good stuff. And this one's just on black vinyl. So we have the inner label there and kind of custom labels, obviously. The other record's very similar, obviously, so I won't show you that one. But yeah, this one I do enjoy better than the Vision Blindee. Very pleased with this album. Really quite enjoying a lot of these guys' work. Definitely check them out, guys. Really good, solid heavy metal band. Traditional kind of old school speed metal. Unfortunately, I'm not sure what that's meant to say down here, but some kind of quote from the band. I'll put it into Google Translate later on. But yeah, so Bestial from ADX, fantastic stuff. Really enjoy this one. And Division Blindee. So that was two from the French metalers. Now, I had this on CD. This next one, thought I was going to be content, but wasn't content to just have the CD. I just had to get the vinyl. So I finally got a copy of the album from Swedish band Nestor that was released last year, Kids in a Ghost Town. It was initially released on CD only, and the band have just rose to popularity. So popular, they're on so many bills for so many festivals and stuff across Europe. I'm not sure about the world yet, but definitely they're all over Europe now with this album, and Napalm Records has recently signed them. That's how much attention they've brought to people so quickly as well. And I know Napalm are making reissues of this on vinyl and CD, due out for release in September, the Napalm Records ones. This is the first pressing that they did themselves on Nestor Press, their music group, directly from the band's website. I ordered this one. Just had to have it. It's absolutely amazing, this album. Classic. Pictures of them from back in the day, through the late 80s and early 90s, I'm assuming these images are from. And it does come with an inner sleeve as well, which is really nice. It's very 80s this as well, because this is kind of what you got, the inner sleeve. So that, yeah, it has lyrics and credits and all that stuff on it. Fantastic, really fantastic stuff. And the record is on, what is it classed as? I don't know what colour it was officially called, but it's like a pinky purpley colour. So there you go, beautiful. Now, what can I say about this record, except if you grew up in the 80s on the 80s melodic metal, the pop rock, the melodic hard rock, the glam kind of stuff. I hate that term. Glam's a 70s term, I'm sorry, it really is. It shouldn't be associated with the 80s at all. And neither should hair. Can you get me started on that? But it's that kind of thing. But this record, released last year, is the most 80s sounding record I've ever heard since the 1980s. I'm kidding you not. It is that good. It is so, just takes you right back. I don't know how they managed it, but it's magic, just wonderful. So I'm now very happy, and depending on how mad I am, who knows, I might even end up buying one of the napalm presses later, but we'll see. I don't know yet. That's for another day. So do get it if you've not and you're a fan of 80s metal and rock. Just get on with it, people. Silly you for not. So next up we have some albums actually that were released in the 80s. I've got some more 80s goodness here. This one is a reissue of a, let me get this right till I get the year here. I've got it on Discogs so I would remember. So this album was the debut from this band, British band, who got together in around 1984, and as I say, their debut was released in 86, but this is a reissue on Back on Black, and it's the band Elixir. I think they're from the London area, and the album The Son of Odin. So yeah, as I say, 1986, again, classic traditional metal from the 80s. They're a bit kind of new wave of British heavy metal style, although they were kind of a bit late to be included in the scene, I guess, at the time, but that's kind of what their sound is a bit like, with a hint of epicness added in there. Really good. I picked up my first Elixir record, which is their latest release, Voyage of the Eagle. That came out in 2020 and I picked that up last year or the year before, which is a really good album. And that I didn't really know a lot about them. I think I'd heard the name before, but I went and did some checking on them and liked their sound. So and yes, they did form back in the 80s. This was the one album they released in the 80s. The second album, according to Discogs, came out in 1990. And then that was them till the 2000s, and they started making more records again. So, if you want some kind of new album 80s epicness all mixed in together, check this one out. It's a really good album. As I say, it's a gatefold sleeve. It's on Back on Black, so you've got all your lyrics and credits here. And amongst the thank yous down here, most notable names are Ronnie James Dio and Tommy Vance, are two of the names that stick out for me there. And comes with a couple of inserts for Back on Black, their catalogue, merch from Plastic Head Music as well. And the vinyl itself it's a limited edition. It says colour may vary, but from all the ones I've seen or around or know of, or they've all been red, but that's your vinyl there. So Elixir and the Son of Odin, people. Very good stuff indeed. Highly recommended. Again, sticking with the 80s and sticking with 1986, I found this, and it is a band I really knew nothing about at the time. In fact, I didn't know they existed back at that time. I don't know that they were too well known in the UK at the time. Band called Vengeance. These guys are a Dutch band, out of Holland, obviously, and this record is titled We Have Ways to Make You Rock. So there you go. They have ways, guys. They have ways. So yeah. And again, just 80s, the classic melodic hard rock kind of style of, you know, Kick-Axe. Again, bands like Pretty Maids and Skagerrak, Dokken, you know, all these bands from the 80s, the melodic hard rock bands, kind of that ilk, and it's a really good album actually. It's pretty decent stuff, so I quite enjoyed this. Again, as I say, a band I'd never known about before. There they are in typical 80s style as of the time. This is an original pressing. I don't believe any of this kind of stuff is been reissued to my knowledge, certainly on record anyway, and it's in pretty good condition. The record itself, it's on the CBS label, and it's in very nice condition actually. A few surface scuffs, but overall really good condition, plays very nicely indeed, so that was a nice find for me. Just again another band I've been kind of digging about, looking for some kind of lesser known stuff and checking it out, and this was one of the ones I found, so very pleased with that. So check them out guys, Vengeance from the Netherlands. Next up is possibly this band's most well known album. I would think it's just the one that I've seen most people mention before throughout the VC, and I found a lovely copy from Spanish metal band Baron Rojo, and it's Volumen Brutal. Nice album cover with a fist, and on the back you've got a picture of the band live at the London Marquee from back in the day. This one was actually, I think it's 1981 this was released. I thought it was later slightly, as in 83 or something, but this came out in 1981. It's an original press, it's a UK press, just with a plain inner sleeve, no lyric sheet or anything with this one. And it's on what the heck's the record label? Camouflage Records, that's what it is, Camouflage Records. In the UK that was what they were released on, and this is in beautiful condition actually. This is, yeah, it's near mint condition, including the outer sleeve as well. Absolutely wonderful condition for a record from that age, so I'm really pleased with that. And really enjoy the record. It's really an excellent, again, it's just classic traditional early 80s metal. Some great guitars on it, and they sing in Spanish. I think, do they? I know there's a Spanish version of this and an English version of this. Let me check. No, they do sing in English here on this version, which would make sense given that it's a UK pressing, right enough. I'm thinking of the other band I found recently called Banzai that I showed the CD from. They sing in Spanish, so this one they sing in English. But Baron Rojo, guys, from 1981, brilliant stuff. Another 80s, back to 1986. Again, 1986, and I just happened to find one of the earlier releases from Matt Sinner's band Sinner. This is my first ever record that I own from Sinner. I know they've got quite a few records out there. So this one is from 86, Coming Out Fighting, it's titled here. Again, it's in very nice condition, very mild wear, just very mild, and it's on Noise Records. It's a German pressing, distributed by Winthrop Music, which is what this label here, and these are the distributors, so that's obviously been on it since day one. And yeah, again, it's in very nice condition. Again, just a plain inner, no lyrics or anything. I've never seen this Noise record label before. Noise International, slightly different, silver. There you go. So Sinner and Coming Out Fighting. Again, the record's in really nice condition. a couple of light scuffs, and again, more just good 80s heavy metal. Obviously this is of the German class, but yeah, just great melodic metal. And obviously Matt Sinner's on here, bass and vocals. I'm not too sure about the other guys off the top of my head, but I don't know how clear that is for you to make out either, to be honest, but there you go. So yeah, Sinner from 1986. I think this is something like their 5th album. You know, they kind of started releasing records at the beginning of the 80s roughly. So another beauty from the 80s, original press. And the last two are new releases. So what just came in the other week, well, this one was the last one to come in actually. This is the new album from Visions of Atlantis, symphonic metal band, these guys, and this just dropped last week, past Friday, I think it was. So it's titled Pirates, and again another cracking bit of cover art here. In fact, I think if you open it out, you know, you kind of get the full sort of idea of the picture. So yeah, really good stuff. And again, on the inside, you've got more cool artwork there. Very nice. So yeah, the symphonic metal band, I have their last one, Wanderers, and the live one that they released in between that and this as well, Symphonic Journey to Remember. Fantastic band. They have dual singers, male and female mix. Really interesting stuff. This is very upbeat and energetic, slightly more energetic than the last one, I think. It's obviously pirate themed, but in no way is it similar to Running Wild. It's completely kind of different style of music to that, so it's not quite in the same pirate metal, if you like. It's just what it's called. Napalm Records, Gatefold, 180 gram, with a nice lyric sheet here. And I'll just show you again, I'll just show you one of them because they're both the same. I just went for the black vinyl edition. There you have it. Custom labels, of course. Absolutely wonderful. Kind of, you know, symphonic metal, but with a kind of bit of power metal elements in it as well. Super interesting musicians going on in this album, so do recommend. And the last piece, which I got just before the Visions of Atlantis, it was a must-have since I got the box set. I needed to get this to go with it, and this is the soundtrack edition from Sabaton's new release, The War to End All Wars. Well, here's the Symphony to End All Wars, and this is the orchestral, as they have up here, they call it the soundtrack edition. And obviously you've got the songs are performed by a classical orchestra, and it's absolutely fantastic. It's a really enjoyable listen. It's really, really good. You know how Blind Guardian released the Twilight Orchestra thing a couple of years back, which was kind of a symphony or a classical kind of orchestral record. This is much better than that for some reason. It grasped me a bit more, whereas the Blind Guardian one was, it was nice, it's okay, it's an okay listen, but this one, the time went really quick just listening to this. This was enjoyable. And here on the other sleeve they've got a list of all the musicians and instruments that are involved with all this. You've actually got guest vocals on one of the tracks by Floor Jansen. She features on one of them. I can't remember which one it is, but there is the, yeah, so it's just the album, pure orchestral. Really good. And this one is on a limited edition, and what they call it is Winter Wind Blue vinyl. Kind of a sort of a creamy, misty blue, I guess you could say. That's the colour of it. So it's excellent stuff. And again, I love the artwork. I had to go for this version rather than the normal version because it would go with the other albums in the set, the standard version and the history edition of the albums, because the same matching artwork. One's purple, one's red, and this one's the blue, so it will go very nicely in here because there's room to slot it in beside the rest. So, and that, people, is my update at the moment. I have a few more things on order. A couple of releases to drop in June as well that I've got on pre-order, so we'll have them coming through hopefully. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch us all in what should be my top 10 album, well, 10 of my favourite album covers. So take care, and I'll see you in another video. Bye just now.